All right, guys, it looks like we are live on all channels. Come on in. This is going to be a little bit of a therapy session tonight. I don't know how much post-game analysis we're going to give, other than the fact that we're just going to make sure that everyone is doing okay. Clearly, the 49ers had a fantastic opportunity in front of them to move forward, go on to the Super Bowl, do a lot of damage. It was right there. Literally was in our hands and we dropped it. Um, figuratively, literally, whichever you'd like to use. The 49ers did have an opportunity to really put this game away. Obviously, the big talking points that are going to come away from this particular game are going to be the missed interception, some of the play calling, and things like that, and then the trickle down effect that ensued after that. Um, the 49ers had an opportunity. Shane says refs and Jimmy doomed us. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why that team or why the 49ers, lost the game, weren't really able to get the run game going for a good portion of the game. So you do have to credit Rams defense for really coming out and balling. But it is pain right now. It is pain, absolute pain. Um, it's tough, man, especially when it really did feel like the 49ers had a very, very good opportunity to win this game. Felt like, especially being up double-digit scores there, opportunity to get that interception. Those types of opportunities don't come up very often, and obviously we see what happens when you don't take advantage. And then things start to compound on top of each other. Just wasn't the best game from everyone involved. Obviously, it does probably. There's a lot bigger things now that we officially in the off season. Are we officially in the off season? I think so. So clearly, the conversations on this channel amongst the fan base, they're going to start switching toward what comes next. But let's take a second to, at the very least, enjoy what this season was. Although we are all in pain, seeing it come to an end like this, with the trip to the Super Bowl literally in our fingertips, and just didn't get it done. Tony says, great season. Hats off to the Rams. Was Trent Williams a liability in this game? I think Trent Williams was trying to gut it out. I think Trent was trying to do whatever he could, and you have to tip your cap. You have to tip your cap to Trent Williams because he's a warrior. Say what you want. Trent Williams is a warrior for going out there, being able to play on a grade 2 high ankle sprain, and being able to do what he did. It was a very solid job for the most part. But it's probably safe to say, because I see it in the chat, I see it everywhere. The next conversation is going to be about next year quarterback. What are the 49ers going to do? Unfortunately, we are now officially into that part of the year where we start talking off season, we start talking potential trades, we start talking potential player movement and things like that. And it does feel like Jimmy Garoppolo will be on the move. He was doing a pretty solid job of really kind of building up his value, but we all understand how it is. Fans remember the last thing that they witnessed, and the last thing that they witnessed was not a very solid performance from Jimmy Garoppolo. Compound that with the performance against the Green Bay Packers. So we'll see. We'll see. Are you saying that I'm mute on? Okay, I didn't think so. I would have got yelled at for being mute a long time ago. Vince says we definitely should have had and could have won that game. But what a season we had. We are moving forward with a strong core. Kittle, Debo, Bosa, and crew. I'm proud of this season, even though it hurts. Great comment, Vince. Great way to look at it. It does hurt. It is painful. It hurts to be so close from the Super Bowl and look like it was right there for us to take. Also had an opportunity to do a lot of different things, and the game came down to those last 3 points. The game came down to those last 3 points, which we could have taken away from them. We could have swung the momentum in a different direction. Wasn't the outcome that we got or wanted. Dawson says, to be honest, we're not even supposed to be here, so I'll take it. I honestly think, personally, like, it is painful. It is. But I've felt a lot worse after games this year, and I think, I might feel a little bit worse here when I have a little bit more time to really process the game, the loss, the season, and it really sets in and sinks in that we're officially in off-season mode. But I will say, like, there were losses this year that hurt more than this one. I've woke up this morning feeling at peace, whether the 49ers were going to advance or not. I personally felt that even though I woke up in with peace, I felt like they were going to advance. I felt like they had an opportunity to be able to do so. Um, but unfortunately it just didn't happen. So obviously as we sit here now in the loss, we kind of reflect. It's a little bit of a reflection episode. The hope would have been that we were celebrating. Um, what did Pierre say? Hey, I gotta let Pierre get some jabs in here. He says, "LO, you woke up thinking of L's." hey, hey, Pierre can get literally as many shots as he wants in. Pierre gets unlimited jabs at me, like, for weeks. He can literally go jab for jab. I will not get upset at him. Pierre, my guy, my boy who is a Rams fan, who's rocked with the channel throughout all the Rams slander. Shout out my guy Pierre. Congratulations to you, buddy. What a battle that was. What a battle this has been all year. Last couple years. I know Rams fans. I know, you know, as much as we don't like the Rams, and I'm not gonna sit here and say I like them, because I don't, and I don't like them even more now. But I'm gonna shout out my homies. I got some homies that are Rams fans, so respect to you boys, especially if you dealt with me slandering your team for as many weeks as I have. So tip the cap. Congratulations. I still don't want you to win though. I'm gonna keep it on. I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't want you guys to win. We're Bengals fans now, so Team Trent Taylor, Team Joe Burrow. Let's go. We're instantly on that Bengals hype train. Let's go. I'm not gonna root for the the Rams to win the Super Bowl. That ain't happening. But still, we tip our cap. Because you do have to look at them. When we do look at the opponent did play well. Cooper Cup is insane, man. Cooper Cup, literally, we could not guard him or stop him at all. He's phenomenal. Hey, Stafford gave us an opportunity. We literally dropped it. So it is what it is. Bowl of Chili says Tart is to blame. Tart is going to get a lot of heat. Heat is not solely to blame, but he will get a lot of heat because we know fans remember pretty much the last thing they saw, and that was a very impactful play. Taylor Allen says it's almost poetic that Jimmy's Niner career ends in a boneheaded interception, right? I mean, I wouldn't call it poetic. I definitely wouldn't call it poetic. But I'm also, if I have to be honest, like, I'm not surprised. I just wish I just wish it was a little bit different. I wish clearly we all do. So I'm not saying anything else that anyone else isn't thinking. Would have been a great opportunity for the 49ers to drive down, get those points, even a touchdown or a tie, and again, keep making things interesting. But that last drive was just disjointed. And I'm gonna be honest with that whole I think it was that fourth down conversion play. I think that's what it was. Um, where they didn't get it. I think it was that Trent Williams play and the juice. That felt like a momentum switch to me. I'm big on momentum. I'm big on energy and the way it happened. And the play call, sometimes you get a good play call, you just don't get it. Good play by defense, and you're like, that was a close one. Good play by the defense. But it just was like it felt weird. I remember seeing Trent line up in that H-back role, and I was just like, I remember the last time they did this. Like I think on the fourth down in Green Bay, and it didn't work either. And it was very similar. They ran it the same way, ran it inside, didn't run it outside and treat it as if it was a counter. They treated it as an inside run. I think they did the same thing with Mitchell, and it didn't work. And I think they did that 2 weeks in a row, and it was unsuccessful. So I felt like that was a big momentum changer. Um, he says guy says, "Why are you so nonchalant?" Is because I have over 1,600 eyeballs on me right now, and to me to go absolutely berserk and lose my mind wouldn't do anyone any good other than some entertainment for Rams fans. And like I said, I woke up this morning with a sense of peace. I did. Whether the outcome was good or bad, I just knew that where we were at this point, we were just blessed to be in this situation to begin with. That's how I personally feel. Now, I know a lot of people don't feel that way. I know a lot of people are really bummed and hurt by the loss. And I probably will be too. But guess what? It's time to work. And, it does hurt. It is painful. And I do want to cry deep down. But the show must go on, right? The show must go on. And so we are going to see now what occurs with the 49ers show. It's over. But I can rest my head at night knowing this team that started out 3-5 and it was fire everyone, they made it this close to the Super Bowl. They could have made it. There were opportunities in that game. They could have made it. And that is probably, I think, what's going to hurt the most from this game, from the reflection of this year, is when we look at it all and we look back. What is one of the I can at least look back at one of the things that I always talked about was when are we going to see this team play 60 minutes? When and especially from the offense. The defense did fantastic. Week 3, week 4, or it's probably about from week 8 on, I think the defense did a really good job. But when we talked about this team, one of the things that we would talk about all the time, the offense playing a full game, not like this disjointed, okay, we're going to play really good on the last drive before half, and then we're going to play really good in the last 4 minutes before the game ends. No, we wanted to see the full 60 minutes. And I felt like if the 49ers were able to do that today, they especially would have won. But unfortunately, that is not the case as we stand today. High Altitude MMA says it is what it is. Jimmy is an anchor. You have to drag to victory. With him as a QB, everyone else has to be perfect, and we weren't perfect. That's true. We were not perfect. That's from High Altitude MMA. You're right. we weren't perfect, and we understand that Jimmy does have a good side and a bad side. And unfortunately, the bad side that we've come to know kind of showed up, unfortunately, in the wrong time. Zach Brown says it feels fitting. Jimmy's last throw in a Niner uniform is a pick. Robs us of a Super Bowl. I mean, I don't think that it's necessarily fitting. I guess it depends on what narrative it's fitting. But it is unfortunate that with all the noise that has gone on around this team, it is kind of, you know, I'm not going to say it's poetic because I don't think that's poetic. But it is interesting that that's kind of how it went down. It could have went down, I think, with the Jalen Ramsey throw. That should have been an interception. I think that play particularly stands out just because Jawan Jennings, if you saw the camera angle from the end zone, you saw Jawan Jennings completely wide open down the sideline. And it did seem like that would have been a much low risk, high reward play, to rather go over Ayuk and drop it into Jennings with what looked like to be, um, a bunch of room. But that almost turned into there's almost like three turnovers, it felt like, on that last drive. So that last drive was very stressful. Very stressful. The coach says, Jimmy, just as Jimmy, a team on their last legs need a QB to lift us up. He killed us in the most needed time. I can't hide it anymore. Play Trey. Yeah, I think you know, emotions are high. Emotions are high, but we understand what's coming. We understand what's coming. This fan base, I can guarantee you, based on the reactions that I'm seeing on YouTube, that I'm seeing on Facebook, that I'm seeing on Instagram, 49er fans will not let Jimmy Garoppolo back um, into that locker room, at least right now at this time. It feels like a lot of people are clearly upset with the quarterback. So we'll see, man. We'll we know what's coming though. It probably makes sense. It probably makes the most sense for a splitting of ties. Now obviously, I don't really want to be talking about off-season moves and none of that right now. But the 49ers have to deal with, I believe, a $24 million cap hit from Jimmy Garoppolo heading into next year. Is there going to be another team that wants to carry on that $24 million cap hit, trade a draft pick, trade an asset to go get Jimmy Garoppolo with, the performance that we've seen against Green Bay, the performance we saw just now? So we all know, like I said, value is almost based, at least from a fan base perspective. What have you done for me lately? And you can poke a lot of holes right now. In Jimmy, I don't really want to be doing that at this particular time. I think we all kind of understand. I think we kind of all understand that it is trending towards Trey Lance next season. But there's a long off season ahead of us, guys. There is a long off season ahead of us. And I see people saying fixed game, the refs sold. Let's not go down that road as a fan base. Let's just not do it because I don't think it's accurate. Did the refs miss calls? Did the refs have poor situations go on in that game? 100%. But I've talked about this all year. You do not put it in the refs' hands. You play your game, you execute, you dominate, and then you don't allow the refs to put their nose in the middle of it because we understand That's what refs do. That is their job. You give them an opportunity to impact the game, they will do it. So you have to take some responsibility for that. The team didn't play well enough. They put it in a situation where the refs could have an impact on the game. That again is responsibility of the team. Coaching, players, execution, all that kind of stuff. So I'm not gonna sit here and say one word about the refs because you get a play here, you get a play there that were available to the 49ers. It's a different game. It's a different game. You got to do what you got to do. Not going to put it on the refs. Just not going to do it. I don't think, and I'll be honest, man. I don't think anyone should do it. There's enough things to look at from this game, from a execution standpoint, where we can say, okay, the team probably lost the game here, lost the game here. They did this differently, the outcome's different. If they did this differently, the outcome's different. I'm not gonna put it on the refs. I'm just not. Because again, like I said, 49ers take care of business. 49ers do what they need to do. The refs are irrelevant. But when you don't do what you need to do and you give them an opportunity, they're gonna do it. We talked about this all year. Talked about this all year. So I'm not going down that road personally. Um, I think the 49ers had every opportunity to win this game. Um, Jason says D'Amico's play calling was hurting me. I mean, I think they were like they were just trying to figure something out, man. I think they were just trying to figure out really trying to figure out how to stop Cooper Cup. And to be honest, they just couldn't do it. They just couldn't do it. They could not stop Cooper Cup. And shout out to Cooper Cup, man. That dude's been balling. Um, lost this. I see someone saying lost this in the trenches. To be honest, I didn't see anything that went one way or the other. You guys already know. I save my offensive line critiques um, until I get into the tape because the tape is always going to be much different story than what we saw on broadcast. I didn't see anything that was jarring to me from the offensive line that was like, oh, yeah, that's why they lost. Um, but like I said, I save my reservations because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in those trenches, and you really need to take a good look at it to really have a definitive answer on it. So clearly, I haven't done that yet, and I'll save that until I watch the tape. George on YouTube says Jimmy Garoppolo started the game good but ended it bad. This is what makes me mad. We didn't play good enough to win the game, and that's disappointing. I agree. I agree with you. That's disappointing. It's always disappointing when you're capable. It's always disappointing when you know you're a good team and you know that you can execute and do a bunch of different things, but you just don't get the job done. So that's always going to be disappointing. Again, this team was in position to win this game. Refs doesn't matter. They were in position to win this game. They were up 2 scores at one point. They the Rams did us some favors. Defense was able to get the interception with Jimmy Ward and K'Wan Williams on that first drive. That could have been points. They were able to get 3 points off the board because field goal kicker missed the kick. And, it's tough, man. It's tough. I swear there's tons of super chats coming in, and I'm just not seeing them. Am I really that far? Damn, the chat is going crazy. The chat is going crazy. I'm trying to catch up to the super chats. Wow, you guys are dropping in all the comments. Holy crap. I think unfortunately what it's going to come down to when we're sitting in our rocking chairs as old men and women, reminiscing about 49ers past, and we're talking about this season and, why we didn't go forward, it's going to be very simple. People are going to they're going to talk about the dropped interception. They're going to talk about the interception. That's what it comes down to. The big plays. When you make the big plays, that goes in your favor. You get all the glory. You get all the hype, right? But when you don't make the big plays, it also is a reverse. It is also a reverse. So I imagine that is what it's going to come down to, big time with the narratives. Osvaldo, I think I got that right. Osvaldo on YouTube says, poor Debo is crying, man. He gave it his all. Clearly, Jimmy didn't. I'm not going to say Jimmy didn't. I'm not going to say Jimmy didn't. I just think we know what Jimmy is, and we understand that, although he's a great leader, they love him in that locker room. They rally around him. We also understand that there's just a limited nature to his game, and he can be good, but we also know he can be bad, and that is part of the Jimmy experience. We just don't know when and where which version comes up. That's the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing. And unfortunately, it didn't rear its head at the best time. We needed locked in Jimmy down the stretch there, and looked like the moment was a little big. Looked like the moment was a little big. We've seen him be tough as nails in those moments, so it's not like he hasn't done it. We've needed to rely on Jimmy Garoppolo quite a bit this year. But we also understand that in those games that we needed him to come back, he was also part of why we needed to come back. So that's just kind of the situation with Jimmy. Um, when we're winning, it's okay, right? When we're winning, doesn't matter. Um, but when the teams lose, we understand that all that other stuff goes out the window. Dawson says, Trey Lance, you're up, bud. Looks like it. Socks and Sandals podcast on YouTube says, can't put that on Jimmy. If Kyle is the offensive genius everyone swears he is, we can't constantly struggle to score 20 points a game. I mean, Kyle Shanahan is an offensive genius. So, I mean, I get it. I get it. I get what's going on with that comment, but it is what it is. Kyle Shanahan was doing his thing. Did he call some interesting plays at interesting times that didn't work? Yes. But when you look at the overall body of work in which Kyle Shanahan has stacked together this year, I don't think he's the problem. I don't think he's the reason why they lost this game. I don't know. Vish says, keep your heads held up high. Rookies and some veterans stepped up and give us so much promise for the future. Agreed. Great perspective, Vish. Great perspective. There is a lot of hope. There are going to be around approximately 33 players going to be still under contract. And a lot of those guys under contract, Trent Williams, Fred Warner, George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk. I think Alex Mack had a pretty decent game. Brandon Ayuk's going to be here. Juwan Jennings is going to be here. Deebo Samuel's up for an extension. Nick Bosa is going to be up for an extension. Guys like Arden Key, we're going to have to figure out, is he going to be able to? We're going to be able to retain him. He's going to be a free agent. Emmanuel Mosley's going to be here. Jimmy Ward's going to be here. I think Azeez Al-Shaair is a restricted free agent, so we have an ability to keep him here. There's still going to be a lot of good pieces, man. There's still going to be a lot of good pieces. Now, the 49ers need to figure out how to get more draft capital. The goal would have been for them to win this game, then win the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo playing well, and then you would have been able to recoup likely a first round pick that you gave up to get Trey for Jimmy. You would have been able to clear about 24 million off the books, get a first round pick back, then you're starting Trey. If that happened, the plan would have worked perfectly. But unfortunately, it didn't. So we are going to have that's what we're going to be talking about this offseason, ladies and gentlemen. Um, which is wild to believe that we are in the offseason. Like we are actually here. Um, it did feel like, the 49ers were going to have an opportunity to move forward. Uh I think I saw that already. Trey Lance up next. Bud, yes, facts. Justin says multiple chances to put that game away. Team loss. Yes, I think that's the best way to put it. I think that's the best way to put it, Justin. I think as I'm trying to search for like how to talk about this game, I think that is the best way to put it. I think this team got to this point as a team. Whether it was like the Packers game, special teams and defense, whether we've seen other instances where the 49ers offense has had to carry the load. We've seen this team win in a bunch of different ways. And what it ultimately comes down to is they won as a team to get here and they lost as a team to not move on to the Super Bowl. And we're going to pinpoint specifics because that's just how postmortems work. When a team loses, that's all a lot of people want to talk about is why they lost and specific instances. But if we really are going to try to be objective about this loss, it was a team loss. It was a team loss. Coaching could have been better. Plays on defense could have been better. Special teams could have been better. Offense could have been better. Each phase could have done their job better. And so that's why I'm like having a really hard time saying, oh, Tart was the reason we lost or Jimmy is the reason we lost. Because if you look at the overall game, they got here as a team, they exit as a team. And if you want to talk about poetic, that might be the poetic, not justice, but poetic nature of this game is starting out 3-5, going through so much turmoil in the offseason that led up to a very difficult start, but sticking together as a team, figuring it out mid-year against the Chicago Bears, getting their season back on track week 10 against the Rams, gutting their way out to get in to the playoffs. Took a team. It took a freaking tribe to get this team this far. So we're very emotional now. We're very upset now. But when we look at the overall grand scheme of what this year is, it's still a special year. It's not the outcome that we wanted. It's not, we wanted to at least have an opportunity to get that Lombardi. We don't get it, but this season was still a win. This season was still a win. I know that's hard to hear now on the footsteps of missing out on the Super Bowl. Trust me. Trust me. But it would have hurt a whole hell of a lot more if they didn't win week 18 against the Rams. We had a lot of extra fun this year. We had a lot of extra fun. We got to renew the rivalry against the Cowboys. We got to own the Cowboys. We got to go into Lambeau in freezing temperatures, take down Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Packers. It's still a special year. Just not the outcome that we wanted to end on. Josh Dean says, I'll get some good sleep after the Rams lose to the Bengals. Yep, 100%. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. Go Bengals. Go Bengals. Screw the Rams, man. Man. Oh, and they're gonna victory lap that on us, and good for them, rightfully so. Rightfully so. We talked a lot of trash, this week. Good for them. Good for them. I'll own it. I'll own it as one of the leader of the trash talkers this week. I'll own it. Osvaldo on YouTube says, you think someone is going to pick up Jimmy, or is he done? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Jimmy's a starter in this league. He is. I think people also, too, just it's hard to play quarterback. It's hard to do that. Like, there's not a lot of good ones either. I'd probably take Jimmy over Tua, you know. Like there's some guys in this league like Taylor Heineke. I'd probably take Jimmy over Taylor Heineke. Maybe little Daniel Jones. I don't know. He's starting caliber, but obviously there's just such a tier drop off. There's just such a extreme tier drop when you go from Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, like name whichever elite quarterback there is a substantial tier drop off just to get to tier 2. And then tier 3 is even steps. So, like, I know we're not happy, but Jimmy's going to be a starter this year. Just probably not going to be with the 49ers. He will be a starter this year. He's also proven to franchises that, hey, if you guys draft a rookie, I'm going to be the best veteran possible for you to draft a rookie because, he's proven that. He really was. I think. I don't know. I think. But I don't think he's done. Vac29 on YouTube says, this was a win-win. We either win the Super Bowl and we get to finally move to Lance. For those that love Jimmy, just remember Kyle and John chose Trey. I guess. I wouldn't call losing a game a win-win. Maybe a win-lose. But it's hard for me to oh, we got Chiefs fans in here. Chiefs fans and Niner fans, man. We're all holding each other tonight. Let's see. George says, all I got to say is Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, you guys stand up for that guy. That guy just cost you the Super Bowl. Keep that in mind. He's a liability. Go easy on Jimmy, all right? Just go easy, okay? We know what his future holds. We understand it is what it is. There's no arguing that needs to really occur over Jimmy Garoppolo because nothing that hasn't been said will be new. No one is bringing new information to the Jimmy Garoppolo conversation. So just keep that in mind. Like, there's literally no nugget that you could bring to the table that is like, oh, that's a revelation. I didn't think about that. I think we all know what it is, whether you're either on the side of supporting him or the side of detracting him. We all know what it is. I think that is true. Whether you are deciding to support him or talk crap about him, you still know what it is. So we don't need to go after his neck. Like, you really don't have to. I know if you're upset and you're hurt, you're going to, but you don't have to. Come on Friday on YouTube says Jimmy Garoppolo had rhythm in the first half. Kyle forced a run in the second. I'm really going to need to go back and look at that tape. honestly, I really need to go back and look at the tape to give a definitive, especially the whole Kyle narrative that's coming out. I need to watch the game. I need to study it. I'm not going to speak on Kyle and second guess him fresh off a loss because I'm not in the right mindset. I'm not in the right frame of focus to be able to like just watch a broadcast that I'm posting a million clips of and tweeting, live tweeting to be like, yeah, that's why we watch the tape. That's why we go back, we watch the all 22, we'll break it down per usual. I'll still break this tape down and we'll figure out what we think the cause was. And then we'll reconvene. Timothy Glanders on YouTube says, "Bye, Jimmy. It was just a matter of time with him." I mean, clearly, yes, it was a matter of time, but tough to see him go out that way. Shout out the haters on YouTube. We appreciate you. Someone said, "Where's your donuts?" Hey man, I wish I'm just happy I got 1 week. I'm just happy I got 1 week. I missed out on Victory Donuts after Dallas. I'm just happy that we got to experience Victory Donuts after we beat the Packers. Anything after that, house money. It's house money at that point. It's house money. But, we can look at it a multitude of different ways. We can look at it in the form of right now. We can look at it in the form of what it means to the future. We can look at it in the form of what it means to the past. And each carries its own individual context. So, whichever side you are on, just know that this year was special. Just know that what this team did, um, when they were at a very low point, should have never been in this position. If you would have told me after the week 7 loss against the Colts, hey, you're going to be one drive away from potentially winning the NFC Championship and moving on to the Super Bowl, I would have said you're nuts. And I'm very optimistic when it comes to covering this team. Very optimistic. Probably too optimistic for a lot of people. I've literally been told that I'm too optimistic. You're not mean enough. Those are things that are said to me. But it is what it is, man. I think the 49ers are still in a good position that regardless of this season not ending the way we wanted it to, it still ended in a good spot. Which I know is, as I say out loud, is hard to hear and process. But I get it. Cheyenne on YouTube says, "I'm grateful for the season and our team, thankful for our leadership. I believe we have a bright future. We're built to last. Let's be kind." I like that. Great message. Harris said the fire shanty stands might be out the cave now. Oh, 100%. 100%. They it feels like they're like coming out of the darkness from being like in a cave for the last 2 months. They're like, "Blah, fire Shannon." They're like a phoenix rising. Fire Shannon. Like they feel like they have new life now. But you know the vibes. It's never fire Kyle Shanahan. You're tripping. You are tripping. It's never gonna be that. Wow, dude. I'm realizing I'm like 20 minutes behind the comments. You guys are putting so many comments on YouTube. I'm like 20 minutes behind. I'm trying to catch up. Jerry Zayas said that dropped INT hurt so much. Yes, yes, it did. I will be honest. That was like the dagger. Like The dropped, and this is me just speaking candidly. This is me being honest about my feelings of that particular play. It's a play that everyone's going to point to. It's going to be a play that everyone talks about and remembers. I will speak from it just from my perspective. Yes, that hurt. That drop pick hurt, dude. Like that drop pick hurt my soul because I knew what that meant. I knew what that meant. That the 49ers needed to keep the Rams off the board. We understood with how the offense was operating that we know playing from behind, they can do it, but it is not a situation that we want to be in because we understand there are a lot more variables on the offensive side that can go wrong than just right. They have fallen our way towards the end of the year, but we know deep down that the offense just we knew that it wouldn't be a comfortable situation. So the anytime you can keep points off the board in a close game, when you have a kind of a methodical offense that's trying to churn out yards, churn out first downs, trying to do it creatively, in those types of situations, you get your hands on the ball. Yeah, you gotta get it. I felt like for me that was a moment in time. Like if I had to be honest with myself, like I didn't feel confident about the game from that point on because I saw the Rams start to roll clock. They started to drill down the clock after that and just again needed points. That's all they needed. They just needed points. They got the 3 and they knew that the 49ers had only so much time to get back in it. And, you know, it's tough, man. It's tough. Jacob says, bro, our cornerbacks and safeties just couldn't solve it. Yeah, but let's not pretend, let's not pretend like that Rams wide receiver core isn't really good. When you have Cooper Cup and OBJ on the same team, and then Van Jefferson's your third wide receiver, who I like Van Jefferson. I think he has the potential to be a much better wide receiver than he is. That's hard to stop. That's hard to stop. You could see whether it was Mosley, whether it was Ambry, they didn't know what he was going to do. He's such a technical route runner. He makes every single route look the same. You don't know if he's going to break it inside. You don't know if he's going to break it outside. You don't know if he's going to drop it down. You don't know if he's going to try and take the top off. And he can do every single one of those things. And so when you're in a position, it's kind of like being an offensive lineman at times. You have 4 different variables that a wide receiver can throw at you, and you have to be prepared for all 4, except this guy can do all of them extremely well. So you just have to be along for the ride and hope you catch him and can react at the right time. Cooper Cup, man, was he the first wide receiver to go for over 2,000 yards? Like, we're not the only ones that couldn't stop him. We are not the only ones that couldn't stop Cooper Cup. So it's just one of those things, man. We had to outlast Cooper Cup. We had to outlast their offense. We had to match offensive power with their offensive power. We knew that. We knew it was going to come down to the last drive. It feels like all these games always come down to the last drives. It's just what it feels like. King G on YouTube says, now can you shut up saying Jimmy is good? Jimmy, or at least for guys like King Geo is probably going to enjoy the content moving forward because it's about it's going to be a lot about moving on to Trey Lance. So there's going to be a good portion of the fan base who's absolutely ready for the next chapter, ready for the next quarterback, ready for this retooling that's coming our way, because that's what's that's what's that's what's coming. They are going to be retooling that roster. Um, there's going to be a lot of available cap space. There's a lot of free agents. Um, so this team can come back tough with the same core, now just built around a Lamborghini as opposed to, like a Mercedes sedan. I'm really not trying to be disrespectful with that at all. Um, I just think, like, we understand what Trey Lance has from a physical standpoint. It did sound like, at least the way they talk about it, he might, he's young. He's a young kid. Still learning the intangible side of it. Damn, chill. Y'all going crazy. I'm trying to keep it somewhat respectful. Jeez. DeMarco Patterson says we just witnessed Jimmy at his ceiling. He can't get any better than this. And we talked about that all year. I think a lot of people, at the beginning of this year had this thought process that Jimmy was going to, like, get better, but I always felt, the year for Jimmy to get better was in 2020, and we kind of saw what Jimmy was in 2020, and that's kind of what he was this year. Just he didn't get hurt as much. He was a little bit more consistent. He did make some big time throws and big time moments when we had to have it. He led a bunch of game winning drives. So I think it's just important to remember that. Like, he was on the responsible side of winning some of these games down the stretch. Um it's not, I think, just we see the Josh Allens, we see the Mahomes, we see the Watsons, we see these insanely gifted athletes throwing the rock wherever they want it with pinpoint accuracy. And so I think a lot of people just, like, they see that and they're like, why can't Jim do that? And that's just not who Jim is. But Jim can still win games. He can still be a good manager and put teams in positions to win the game. He's just never going to be that Mahomes style from a physicality standpoint. The Rams 49ers the 49ers today. Both lines got beat on today. I think they did a good job in pass protection for the most part. The 49ers were able to get some pressure on him in a couple instances. Not as much as we wanted to, clearly. But we got some pressure. Man, I cannot believe how behind I am on these YouTube comments. You guys are going crazy. Kevin Spencer says Kyle's an offensive genius. He has to limit what he does to accommodate Jimmy's poor play. I mean, yes and no. I think, from a run game perspective, I think Jimmy Garoppolo's, I think it's an underrated task to be able to run that complex of a scheme. Clearly, Jimmy's able to operate it and manage it and put them in position. Just the execution is what I think Jimmy struggles with the most. Like, if we're trying to look at it from a valuation standpoint, does it affect how Kyle calls plays? Probably a little bit. Probably. I mean, it does. We've seen what happens when Trey Lance gets in. It's a completely different offense. It was same thing in training camp. When Trey Lance gets in, it's like, what are we watching? Like, what is this? Like, where's Kyle Shanahan's offense? Like, it's clearly much different. with Trey Lance in than it is with Jimmy. So maybe there is truth to that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Jaquarius says, I just think it was the O line and Jimmy isn't an MVP. I love him and he did what he could do, but it was the O line and the rest that cost us the game. Again, being an offensive line guy, my initial gut feeling of just watching that game was I didn't see anything from the offensive line that like was the overall like nail in the coffin for the 49ers. Obviously that last play, they got a little bit of pressure. But like I said, I got to watch the tape. Got to watch the tape. And I'll be able to tell you really quickly if it was the offensive line or not. But and there have been a bunch of games this year. Not a bunch, but a handful where I was like, "Ooh, the offensive line didn't perform well." And then I got into the tape and I was like, "Wait, they actually performed all right." There's actually this guy who missed his assignment and maybe that guy who missed his assignment. Quarterback held on to the ball too long. That's been the case with the offensive line. So I'm going to stick with that. I'm not going to give my 2 cents because I've experienced it many times where I've gone into the tape thinking I'm going to watch a poor game from the offensive line and I come back away like, actually, no. They actually did much better than it felt like they did in real time. And that has not once, not twice, not 3 times, like it's been multiple occasions. So I have learned that if I'm going to give a definitive opinion about the offensive line, I watch the tape. I can give opinions about the other positions and because they're easier to watch in broadcast, but when it comes to the offensive line, I'm going to go watch every single snap from each one of them, and I will be able to come back at the end to tell you if they didn't do good or they did. Um, because we really didn't hear too much of Aaron Donald until the very end. To the very end. Yes, blowing the block in a specific situation, you know, there's 30 or 40 plays. That's why you look at body of work for offensive linemen. Socks and Sandals podcast says we blew a 10-point fourth quarter lead just like we did in the Super Bowl. Kyle has to be held accountable. To what? What is he being held accountable for? All right, trying to catch up. Let's see. Aaron Rodgers will be a 49ers this year, according to Focus. Yeah? Yeah? Hey, what's up, Gino? Have a good night, man. You stayed up late for that one. Nah, feels like Aaron Rodgers is going to the Broncos. Don Burr says didn't see one pass a rookie couldn't make. Trey Jim G. That's the one thing about Trey Lance is he can make a lot of throws. Max Prime Reviews says the defense deserves as much blame as Jimmy. They allowed Padford and Cup to walk right down and score. Jimmy had us winning and we couldn't shut down. I think there's relevancy to that. That's again why we were talking about this game, trying not to assign blame to individuals because this game today was lost as a team. It was like again, we can try to pinpoint the specific instances where it didn't go our way. But overall, it was a team loss. It's a team loss, just like most of the games have been team wins. Team wins, team loss. Win as a team, die as a team. That's pretty much what happened today. There was instances on all three phases that could have been better. Could have been better. Oh man, I'm not even close to catching up. I'm not even close to catching up to these comments. My goodness. No Limit Daniel says Debo deserves so much better. Heartbreaking seeing him cry. Hell yeah, man. This whole loss is heartbreaking. That's why it's like, why do we need to come after people's neck after a loss? Like, it is what it is. We did a lot of that earlier this year. Lots of calling for people's heads, doing all that kind of stuff. But man, we knew going into this game, it was house money to be there. And they had an opportunity to do it. We know why they didn't do it. Jonathan, thank you so much, man, for the $20 super chat. I really do appreciate that. He says, no, it wasn't Jimmy. He said, no, it wasn't Jimmy was the reason why they lost. The team. Okay, I got to read this one first. Jimmy was the reason why they lost. Jimmy here. Jimmy is trash. Quit making excuses. The team is bailing Jimmy out. It's a year lost. We got to put Trey. Okay. He's not. Okay. So Jonathan is not happy with Jimmy. He doesn't want us to make excuses for Jimmy or the team to bail out Jimmy. He's saying it's a lost year. We could have put Trey in from the beginning and be better for next year. Parentheses, trash. Yeah, a lot of frustration out there. A lot of frustration out there. I understand. Brian says Tart dropped the pass. Ward had an unnecessary roughness, and Jimmy tried to extend a dead play, sack, team loss, plain and simple. And that's kind of what I feel like. It's kind of what I feel like. Feels like it's a team loss, you know? Yes, are there individual plays that we can pinpoint 100%? But it does feel like a team loss at the end of the day. Robert says, Brad, it was a good year. Trey got to feel that loss from the sideline. And let's be honest. Let's be honest now. And I understand. Let's talk about Trey. We'll talk about Trey for a little bit because and kind of piggybacking off of our buddies, my guy, whatever. I'm sorry. The guy with the last super chat. He said it was a waste for Trey. I don't think it was a waste for Trey. Now, can you get a lot of valuable reps playing? Of course. It's probably the best way to gain experience in the NFL is getting the live bullets and being able to deal with the live bullets and understanding what that means. But let's look at it. Week 5, Trey Lance got thrown into action. He actually got thrown into action after halftime, week 4, against Seattle. And by that time, the 49ers were playing so bad, it really didn't matter who was playing quarterback because the 49ers just weren't doing anything week 4 against Seattle. And then he's got to get the start against the Cardinals week 5, running that Trey scheme where there's 5 to 7 designed runs. I believe he ran it 16 in total. They were doing a lot of different things schematically that just wasn't beneficial to the unit. And then he gets hurt, and then he goes onto the sideline until week 17 against the Texans, where he comes out and gets a crucial win. Gets a crucial win at home. So Trey Lance has gotten experience. And not only has he gotten experience, but but he's been able to sit back and watch. He's been able to learn the faithful. He's been able to sit back and watch a quarterback take body blows from media, take body blows from the fan base, um, other players on other teams. So Trey Lance has kind of gotten to sit back and watch a team be really bad at the beginning of the year, transform, get back on track, him be a part of that, and but also just get a sit back in the sense and just watch another quarterback go through it. So, like the other guy was saying, it was a waste. I don't think it was a waste. I think there was plenty for Trey Lance to learn from that year. 100%. 100%. Did I read this already? Robert says Brad, it was a good year. Trey got to feel the loss from the sideline. Next year, starter reps from the get go, and we're back to the NFC. 100%. I think that's fair. I think that's fair to kind of assume, at least at this point, that Trey Lance will be the starter heading into next year. And that means training. That means OTAs. That means mini camp. So, or at least hope. I don't know. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. User 615 on YouTube says Arizona without Kyler. Indy at Seattle this game. I don't think it's fair to call Jimmy criticism hating when he clearly is the reason we lose games. I don't think anyone is above criticism at this point. Anyone really. So yeah. The reason why it's just a divisive topic to begin with. It's just a divisive topic. I don't think people I think there's a lot of context involved with the Jimmy Garoppolo situation, and not everyone just brings it all in. So it's gets very one-sided when you have the conversations. Um George says, I was not trying to be a sorry Nancy. I'm just angry, man. We had a chance to win this, and he threw the game away several times. That's why I'm so pissed. Hey, George, trust me, man. This is a safe space. This is a safe space amidst the Rams fans trying to troll us. It's a safe space. Whether you are happy, whether you're sad, you're pissed, you're like whatever. We're all 49er fans at the end of the day. We all care about the logo. We all care about the team. And we're all bummed and pissed off that the 49ers didn't go to the Super Bowl. And we're all going to process it differently. And it's okay for how each one of us processes it differently. That is perfectly fine. We don't have to say, hey, how you're processing this is wrong, or hey, how you're feeling is wrong. We're all hurting in some sense. We all wanted this team to move forward and go to the Super Bowl. That at the end of the day, that's what it is. Now we're going to have a range of emotions that come along with not doing and exceeding where we wanted to go. That's fine as well. We don't got to be like angry. Josh says, I, for one, am not okay. Man. Hey guys, once I catch up on YouTube, I'll eventually get a better look at Instagram. I'm way behind on super chats. I'm trying to catch up. My goodness. Casey Sowards says Rams fans here. Great smash mouth game. Do you think Debo gets a big contract? Do you think Trey Lance is the future for the 49ers? First of all, Casey, congratulations for getting your first win over the 49ers since the Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay era has begun. So we will respectfully congratulate you on your victory. And I appreciate the nice comment. Do I think Debo gets a big contract? 100%. They are going to pay that man all the money in the world. Do I think Trey Lance is the future of the 49ers? 100%. 100% Trey Lance is the future of the 49ers. He has to be. He has to be. You cannot give up that compensation for him not to be. But appreciate the comment. Gavin Boyd Goodrich says, I personally will look back on the Jimmy era fondly. I hope the Trey era has as much or more success. Great season. Excited for the future. It's a great way to look at it, Gavin. I like that you're finding the positives in it because, hey, we get it. We get it. Uh, you know, when it comes to before Jimmy Garoppolo got here, it was really ugly. It was uglier than it's ever been. Um, I'll be honest with you, having Trent Baalke as my general manager hurt a lot more than the 49ers making it to the NFC Championship when they shouldn't have been and not making it to the Super Bowl. It hurt a lot more knowing Trent Baalke was calling the shots for my organization's future. That hurt more than what I'm going through right now. So, context, part of it. And when Jimmy got here, 49ers hadn't won a game. So he made his mark. He did what he did. Almost got the 49ers a Super Bowl. Was on the door of his second Super Bowl in 3 years. And if he could have done it and gotten past the Rams and you guys know too. I think I haven't even talked about this aspect of it. I think one of the hardest things for me not making it to the Super Bowl is that I think the 49ers could have absolutely beaten the Bengals. We beat them this year in Cincy. That to me, I think hurts the most. Knowing that the great Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid went down in their home stadium to Joe Burrow. I felt like that was the best chance for the 49ers to get that Super Bowl win. We knew that if it was going to come to a shootout between Garoppolo and Mahomes, we know what that outcome would be. We just know. I think we feel safe saying that, we would have been like, well, at least we made it. That's all that matters, right? We made it. We made it here. Moral victories. But knowing that Cincinnati was on the other side of it, and I just felt like that's, I think, what hurts the most is because Cincinnati, in my opinion, was the reality of the 49ers actually going all the way and winning the Super Bowl. I felt like we matched up really well against Cincy. I felt like from a player perspective, scheme perspective, we matched up really well. And that would have been, I think that for me hurts the most. Rum says they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. Yes. Yes. Channeling is that Danny Green? The great Danny Green. They are who we thought they were. 100%. I think the other thing that hurts about the loss. I think that's the other thing that hurts about the loss is they are who we thought they were. They are who we thought they were, which means we could have beaten them. We could have taken them down. We could have beat the Rams in their house yet again, but we let them off the hook. We let them off the dang Hooked. I skipped over your $20 super chat. I don't think I did. I believe I remember. I think I talked about yours. I don't think I did. I think I got it. I hope I got it. I swear I got it. Oh, I finally got to this one. My goodness, I'm like 20 minutes behind the chat. Holy crap. I'm gonna try to keep catching up, guys. You guys are sending super chats like crazy. Feels like Money Mark, my boy. I appreciate you, dude. Especially with the $20 super chat. He says, feels like super pain right now. We had this game. I knew we would lose after Tart dropped that pick. We battled hard, but it wasn't meant to be. Jimmy gave us what he could. Man, I really love this team. Sourdough Squad, SDS. We see you, Money Mark. I feel the same as you, man. I felt, you know, I knew I knew, I didn't know, but I felt it. When you have an opportunity like that and the ball is just right there in your hands and that takes away points, gives your offense another opportunity to put points on the board. Yeah, that one hurt. That one for sure hurt. Big time. I don't think it's the reason why we lost. Again, I think it's a team loss. I don't, but it's just a very crucial point in the game, right? It was just very crucial, and we knew what that meant. We knew there weren't a lot of opportunities. We just knew that, and that was a point in which we needed that. We absolutely did. Um, so yeah, it hurt because I think we knew. There was already a vibe. There's already a vibe at that point in the game, and so that one for sure hurt. McLovin says, "I'm happy with how the season went. We beat the Rams twice, knocked the Cowboys, Packers out the playoffs, and Lance got to sit a year and develop." Yes, it's a good way to look at it. I mean, it's not a lost year. I know we are conditioned to believe that it's Super Bowl or bust. Um, but I also think in this particular instance, there was a sense of playing on house money and just kind of going with the flow with this year, and whatever came, we're along for the ride. Um, so I agree. I think it was a good year. It's not definitely not the way we wanted to end it. Definitely not how we wanted to end it. And under those circumstances, not, what we were looking for. But hey, that's football. That's why we play the game. Dev says TB12 wearing red and gold next year. I I don't think so. I don't think so. Um, damn near about to retire. Shane says, I will say from being a fan of the Raiders to being a Niners fan, it's been enjoyable to actually win games and make it to a conference title. Well, welcome, Shane. Welcome. You are absolutely welcome here. We're glad you are on the right side because I'm sure it wasn't any fun being a Raiders fan. Derek says the last play was Jimmy's tenure summed up in a nutshell. I feel it was his last play as a 49er. It's Trey's time. My Super Bowl was beating the Cowboys. I had a lot of fun beating the Cowboys. I'm not going to lie. I had a lot of fun beating the Cowboys. It would have been perfect. It would have been perfect to come away with this dub and have 2 weeks of just more trash talking because we love to talk trash, but it's okay. We can live with the opposite outcome as well. User says, shout out Jeremy Curley, wide receiver 1. Man, a Stevie Johnson wide receiver one. Throwing away back. Hype Storm says, what I think we need to do is completely get rid of Jimmy and just figure out the corner situation. But yeah, man, I can't even think right now. Just devastated. I feel you, dude. And there's a lot of us that feel that way. I mean, I don't feel great. Taylor Allen says, I love Kyle and I'm glad he's our coach, but damn, another fourth quarter offensive shutdown and another blown 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. Yep. 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 This team, obviously, this part doesn't. Maybe it does. Maybe this is a correlation to Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know. I don't know. But they need to figure out how to close out games. And we know that to be true for a while now. If they're up big, they have a hard time maintaining leads. They don't typically have too hard of a time, coming back, it felt like. But when it came to maintaining a lead, just there's something about it. Like, just feels like there's a weird mental thing with trying to maintain a lead. Um, I don't know. There's multiple levels to that. Rum says bring back Jim Tom Sula. Oh my gosh, I think I'm so close. I think I'm so close, man. Oh, I'm so close. Emmanuel Williams says they passed for more yards, ran for more yards, converted more third downs. Rams played a full 4 quarters and got the job done, period. I think that's a very simplified way to look at it. But, I mean, honestly, that's what it comes down to, right? Playing 4 quarters, um, doing all that kind of stuff. And the Rams finished the job. They gave us an opportunity. They gave us an opportunity. Imagine being in my live and telling me to shut up. Blocked. Imagine being in my live and telling me to shut up. Talk about L. Wavy Collins says, can't believe people are blaming the defense. Obviously, they allowed long drives, but score could have been way worse. RO had to sustain drives. Yeah, I agree. I mean, we put a lot of strain on our defense. We talk about it all the time. Complementary football. Um, Name of the game. Help your offense, or help your defense, help the offense, help the special teams. All things need to work together. Um, and when you stress one side more than the other, you know, eventually someone's gonna crack. Oh my goodness, I did it. I did it. I caught up to the I finally I finally caught up to the YouTube chat. My goodness. My goodness. I'm finally caught up. All right. Um since I'm caught up, how about Instagram? You guys have any questions? Sorry, I've been neglecting you a bit. YouTube is going bazonkers right now, but I'm finally caught up. So I'll look at IG for a little while if you guys have any comments. Twitch chat. What's good, Twitch? We see you. We see you. Thanks to the defense we got that far. I think that's a great perspective too. Like, hell yeah, the defense did great this year, to the point where we might we might lose our defensive coordinator, rookie defensive coordinator, to a head coaching job. That's how good the defense played. That is how good the defense played. All right. I think this guy's been in here for a while. Oh my goodness. We are going to lose defensive players. Let's see. I don't know. So, I mean, I think we all understand. The game was won in the off season. Ooh. Ooh. Dang, we're going back to the off season. Dang. I remember that too. I was in Mobile when the news came across that the Rams traded for Stafford. That's a good point though, man. That's a good point. Could you imagine if Stafford went to any other team than the Rams? Interesting point. Interesting point. Yeah, that I think that's the hardest part. I think that's the hardest. Bought, not built. Nice. I'll take that one. That was a good comeback. I'll take that one. I will take that one. Oh, is Debo a meme now? I'm not gonna lie, I've been on live for about an hour and a half, so I have not looked at the timeline. I don't know what the timeline's looking like. Could be bad, could be not great. Shout out the Rams, man. Shout out the Rams. It was a good game. Okay, we're not gonna do spam though. It was a good game to Rams fans. You guys played well. You guys were ready for the challenge. So all we can do is tip our cap because we didn't get the job done. We didn't get the job done. We could have gotten the job done. The Rams gave us an opportunity to get the job done, just didn't do it. So tip our cap. GG. Nice work. Yeah, tell him, Locksmith. It was a good run. We still had a great run, man. We still had a great run. We still had a great run. It hurts. It's very painful right now, but it hurts. It hurts. And, like I said, I'm going to do a proper post-mortem. I'm not going to speak emotionally and start assigning, um, blame to a bunch of people. I want to watch the game. I want to watch the all 22. Give me the coach's film. Let me watch it. And then I will be able to give you my honest opinions on why they lost. And right now, all we're really doing is this is a little bit of we're consoling, you know. We're making sure everyone's okay emotionally. Shout out Cap. Cap says bang bang Niner gang till the death. We're going to be right back in the playoffs as the team no one wants to see next season. Off-season moves going to be fire. Baby Lambs losing to Cincy. And I think that is one of the things, too, that I think is really, really exciting. No one is going to want to see this team. Still, next year, with this same core, like, no one is going to want to see this team. And if the 49ers, let's say, transition to Trey Lance to be the starter, no one is going to want to see Trey Lance with George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel, Elijah Mitchell in year 2. Elijah Mitchell, dude, is going to go into this year with like RB5 in fantasy. He's going to be like Elijah Mitchell, dude, Like Jawan Jennings stock up. Who else stock up? Let's talk stock up on the team. Stock up on the team. Emmanuel Mosley stock up. Aziz Al-Shaair stock up. Fred Warner stock up. DJ Jones stock up. Pay that man. Eric Armstead stock up. Bosa stock up. Juice stock up. So we got a lot of people trending in the right direction. Got a lot of people trending in the right direction. Just going to get a retool. We're going to get a decent amount of money. Caps going up, I believe, 26%. 49ers are going to be able to add free agents. They're going to make moves. We know they are. They're going to try to get more draft capital. And then they're going to draft some players. If we look at the draft, God, I can't believe we're like at this point. It's like hitting me. I think it's starting to like set in that it's the off season. Like right when I just started to think about like, oh, now we get to do an assessment on the draft picks. I'm like, season's over. I think it's hitting me a little bit in real time, guys. I think it's hitting me in real time. I don't know why talking about the draft. I just know that when I start focusing on the draft, the season's over. And so now that I'm like, well, let's look back at the last draft class. Let's look at Trey Lance. Let's look at Aaron Banks. Let's look at Ambry Thomas, Talanoa, Diamador, Elijah. I think overall draft class was pretty successful. I think it was. I think Talanoa looks like he's going to be a player. He looks like he can play multiple roles, whether that's hybrid linebacker, nickel linebacker, whether that's single high. He can play in multiple areas, and he's going to keep developing. Elijah Mitchell has an opportunity to develop into one of the best running backs in the league. We'll see from Aaron Banks. We'll see from Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon had a nice tackle today on special teams, but we'll see. We'll see what if we can get a nice little tandem of Trey Sermon and Elijah Mitchell in 2022. Maybe who knows? Maybe Trey Sermon comes back next year looking like Dalvin Cook. Who knows? I did think it was interesting. Just a really quick on Trey Sermon. I thought it was really interesting how Kyle Shanahan talked about running backs coach Bobby Turner today, or earlier this week, and basically about how Bobby Turner is an extremely demanding coach. When they do tests on opponents, each position coach will give their room a test. And it sounded like, typical questions are 10 to 15 on each test of the other opponent. Kyle Shanahan said Bobby Turner gives his running backs 200 question tests. Like, that's insane. 200 question tests before a game on the opposite opponent. He basically said Bobby Turner pushes his running backs so hard, but it is part of the reason why he's able to get so much out of his running backs. So I think one of the things with Trey Sermon could ultimately just be he wasn't ready for that. He wasn't ready for that pressure, wasn't ready for the expectation that Bobby Turner put on him. And maybe he just had a hard time dealing with that. And who knows? Maybe Trey Sermon comes into year 2 ready, prepared, understanding what's expected of him. And who knows? Maybe Trey Sermon develops into a weapon next year. So I hate that I'm talking about the draft. I love the draft too. Makes me sad a little bit. It's funny how that is the thing that like hit me. I was like, oh, it's the off season. Derek Groom says, do you wonder why Kittle had such a low touch count in the playoffs? Why does Kyle choose one guy to run the offense through? Do you think he adjusts? My response to the Kittle thing is because Kittle is a focal point in the offense, even if he is not getting touches. Him as a blocker in this scheme does so much. He sets the edges in a lot of instances. The way he pulls, traps, counters, whatever. He is a huge focal point. And two, when they dedicate, you know, to bracketing him, then you start to use him to open things up for other people. Um, I don't know about like the choosing one guy to run the offense through. It can feel like that at times, but I think I think Juice and Kittle were the focal point of the run game. I know we give a lot of focus to Debo and Elijah, but in regards to setting up blocking, Juice and Kittle were the focal point of this offense this whole last year. So when the run game's going and it's working well, a big part of that has to do with Kittle. And so he gets a lot of credit for that. For the success we saw with Debo, the success we saw with Elijah Mitchell, George Kittle gets a ton of credit for that. Again, I talk about it all the time. You go back to that Debo Samuel run against Dallas. Kittle had he blocked 3 people on that play, including Micah Parsons. Without that block from Kittle, Debo doesn't score a touchdown. So I know we focus on the touchdown, we focus on touches, catches, and things like that, but people don't pick up on that stuff. People don't realize, oh, Kittle blocked 3 guys on Debo Samuel's way to get a touchdown. Might as well put an asterisk next to George Kittle with that Debo touchdown. So the touches part, I mean, he probably had a potential touchdown on that first throw of the game. So, and that was 2 weeks in a row. Last week he dropped it. This week it was an overthrow. It's tough, man. But I think Kittle has a role on this team, and his role is very important, even if he's not catching it. Jose says people tend to forget that we sucked before Jimmy arrived. That's true. Darian says, Brad, I cried watching Jimmy at the presser, man. I hate to see it end like this. I still got to go back and watch the pressers. Honestly, I typically will go to the pressers. But I decided to let it rock. And I figured it was a good time for us just to deal with this together. Rather than I can go back and listen to the press conferences later. Let's see. What else do we got? Do you think Mostert will be back next year? I mean, I would love to, but I felt like this was going to be his last year. Just because of money, but with the injury, I don't know if he will get what he was hoping to get after a full year of being healthy and putting up production. So there could be a window for him to come back, maybe on a 1-year prove it. I don't know. I think he loves the team. I think the team loves him. I think the fan base loves him. I think he would want to return. I think internally they love him. I think he's a leader of the running back room. I think it's just a conversation about money, which I always talk about is above my pay grade. Just above my pay grade. I don't really like talking about other people's money. But however, I do know it plays a factor in pro sports and all that good stuff. So we'll see. Talking about Mostert. Sorry, talking about Raheem Mostert. Um, I hope I would love to have Mostert back. You guys know how important. You guys know. Yes, I know. I need mod, but guess what? It's the end of the year, and we will be able to. Oh, who am I banning? Gotcha. Well, we got a lot of stuff to work on in this off season. As much as that sucks to say, trust me. And wow, what's crazy to think about now too? It's crazy to think about. That was the end of my rookie year. So I do want to take a second now that it just again lots of realizations going on. I do, amidst the Rams trolls, I get it. It's fine. But I do want to say thank you to you guys, to the Sourdough Squad on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. Shout out the squad on Instagram. Just want to say thank you because, like I said, this was my rookie year. This was my first year being all in doing 49ers content. And it's been a blast. It's been an absolute blast. And I've had a hell of a lot of fun. Hell of a lot of fun. Had a hell of a lot of fun watching the Sourdough Squad grow, the SDS turn into an actual legitimate group of people, a community where we just vibe about 49ers. Like, I think that's pretty special. Um, it's been a special year. It's been a tough year. We've had to go through a lot of crazy stuff this year. And this was my first year doing lives like this. This is my first year analyzing the team like this. So I do just want to take a second to say thank you to all you guys for supporting the boy, this ginger beard. We appreciate you. The rookie season is officially over. I'm a veteran now. I'm a veteran now. I'm on to year 2. I'm on to year 2. I'm a vet. I'm a vet now. The rookie year's over. No more rookie excuses from this ginger beard. My goodness. The rookie year's over. So again, just want to say thank you to you guys who supported me through a lot. Just really appreciate it. Daryl says defeated 3 12-win teams in a row. That's an NFL record. I didn't know that. Any advice to handle this L? I just lost my grandpa. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. And to be honest, this team was what kept me going through hard times. Hashtag offseason void is real. Well, Jose, I would first like to send my condolences to you and your family. That's obviously terrible for you to be dealing with a loss like that. But I will say this to you, Jose. I'm not going anywhere. I thrive in the off season. So I will be continuing to cover this team, draft, free agency, all of it. And like I said, rookie year's over. But I'm a vet now. Year 2 begins today. So stick around, man. This is going to be a fun offseason too. I want to keep that out there. This is going to be a fun offseason. We are going to see this team with an extremely solid core of players continue to add and build more on top of that. So 100% stick around, especially on this channel, because we are going to keep posting and talking about this team. We're not going anywhere, man. We're not going anywhere. So you always got a spot right here with the Sourdough Squad. You can always come vibe with us. I'll still be doing lives. I'll be still posting content. Dat1 says Ryan replacement possibility. Man, who would replace? I would imagine it would be someone on staff that replaces D'Amico. Who that would be? Chris Kurasek, maybe. Maybe the only way. Maybe the only way to keep Chris Kurasek around is maybe to allow him to be a DC. I don't know if that's what he wants. Kurasek kind of reminds me of a guy that just would be perfectly fine being a position coach his whole career, but who knows? Maybe Kurasek, if for whatever reason D'Amico Ryans does get hired, maybe that's the path. Maybe that's the path. Trust me, we will have mods soon. We will have mods soon. I promise. Who would we replace Mike McDaniel? He's rumored to be the front runner for the Dolphins job. I don't know. Because Kyle's lost a decent amount of coordinators at this point. I know there's some guys on that squad, but like kind of like Bobby Turner to me feels like he's a forever running backs coach. Their offensive line coach feels like a forever offensive line coach. Embry, their tight ends coach, feels like a forever tight ends coach. But I don't know. I don't know enough at this current point. So that'd be something I have to look into a little bit further. But I really hope we don't lose either Mike McDaniel or D'Amico, but it is something that could absolutely happen. Absolutely happen. But it is what it is. This is how I celebrate trolling. Yeah. Thoughts on Kinlaw next season? Yeah, that would be super nice. To get Kinlaw back, have him ball out. That would be great. That would be fantastic. I see a lot of people like I'm still numb. I think I'm slowly starting to feel it as the live is progressing. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Tough loss. Very tough loss. But I think overall, really feels like a positive year. Considering where it was at going into the season and at the beginning of the season, to just be in this moment, to be talking about being in the Final Four, being one of the last teams knocking on the door of the Super Bowl. And again, we all know the 49ers could have won that game. We all know they should have won that game. And that's probably, I think, what hurts the most about this loss is that I think the 49ers should have been advancing and they should have beat the Rams. And we should be talking about Super Bowl right now. And I think that's probably what hurts the most is because there was a real opportunity in front of us for that to happen. And so I think that for me personally is what hurts the most is that we should have been talking about the Super Bowl, but we are not. So we are going to live in it and we are going to start our process of transitioning into the offseason, offensive needs, all that stuff. All that stuff. We are going to get into it, but we know. And I don't know if there's too much more that can be said today or tonight. We're going to have plenty of things to talk about moving forward. That's for sure. But tonight, my boy, we see you. We see you. Um, you know, we're not gonna solve the loss. We're not gonna be able to diagnose it. We're not gonna do any of that tonight. We're just talking about it. We're working through it. We're trying our best to rationalize it, put it into context, and move forward. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Um, and I still do not believe that the 49ers were, or at least me too, fans, we weren't too cocky. We did exactly what we said we were going to do. Shout out the faithful. Shout out the faithful for taking over SoFi. That is now going to be something we do every time. I want to make that very clear. We were not cocky about that. We were confident that we were going to take over SoFi. And that's exactly what we did. We took over SoFi. The 49er faithful did exactly that, took over their stadium, and guess what? Forever known as Levi's South, no matter what. So, we are going to be upset as we do not move forward. However, we do know that we own your stadium no matter what. And you'll never be able to take that away from us. So, enjoy losing to the Bengals. Have fun. It's a team of destiny and Joe Burrow. So we are officially Bengals fans. Shout out Trent Taylor. That's who we're rooting for. Y'all suck, Red. Yeah, I'll still talk trash, even with the L. Even with the L, because at the end of the day, we still own Levi South. That's our stadium. Shout out. Shout out the Rams for building us a southern location because we will continue to take it over. That was not a one-time thing. Taylor Allen says, one last appreciate everything you do, brother. Sourdough Squad. Also, let's get Lance McCutcheon and Troy Anderson on the squad. Montana State. Ooh, wee. Ooh, wee. Let's go. Let's go, baby. So until next year, I look forward to seeing you guys all at Levi South again. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see you guys at Levi South next year. It's going to be fun. But until then, appreciate all you guys. Appreciate all y'all chirping me in the chat. It is well accepted. I see you guys. I see the Packers fans in here. I see the Rams fans in here. Hey, all good. All good. Now Bengals go take care of business. Yeah, I'm about to get off. I'm about to cry into a pillow. Oh, oh. Dude, it hurts. It's starting to hurt, man. I'm starting to feel it a little more. It's starting to set in. But hey, we love this team. We ride for this team. Hey, and we are still here, baby. Let's go. All right, guys. You guys have a great rest of your night. As great as it can be, I guess. underneath the current circumstances. I haven't been on the timeline in 2 hours. So that's going to be interesting. I have not stepped foot on the timeline. I've been on lives for literally 2 hours. The timeline is going to be interesting. So I can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Can't wait. Let's go. Go Bengals. Go Bengals. Appreciate all you guys. It's been a wild ride, been a wild year, and we'll be back. We will be back. Was tomorrow Monday? Maybe back Monday. We'll see. But I appreciate you guys. Until then,